Most people think that saving more equals wealth, but the wealthy, they do the exact opposite. That is saving less. I didn't grow up in a home where money was discussed, and I know that I'm not alone on this. No one gave us the blueprint on how to build wealth, and sadly, it is not also taught in schools. This is why I am passionately preaching that parents should be involved, in helping their children to be successful adults. Just the way we teach them, good morals, we can also incorporate financial literacy. I bet with all the things you know now, you can actually impart in your children so they don't make the same financial mistake we did. Our parents did the best they could, no doubt about that, based on their own understanding. But the truth is that this fear, this traditional fear of investing was passed down to us somehow, and we really need to do something about it. I want you to clearly understand this. Saving is good. In fact, saving is the foundation because you need to save before you can then invest, right? But if all you do is just save money, to become wealthy is not just possible. It's not just going to happen. You can't build wealth by just saving. This is my experience. I've always been good with saving, but not investing. I wasn't investing because I don't want to invest. No, I was waiting to fully understand investing before I can start investing. So one thing I noticed was that during that time when I was only saving, my money was not growing. But when I started investing, my money started growing. I am so happy about that. I'm going to be giving you reasons why saving less is the way to go. The first reason is inflation. The best way to understand inflation is just look back like 10, 20 years ago and try and remember how much you normally spend on groceries. Let me just use groceries. You know how much you normally spend on groceries back then, and then use them and compare how much you spend now. I remember our first grocery shopping here in Canada, back in 2019, that's 6 years ago. Our cart was full, like filled to the brim. And I remember we spent like $100 and some cents, yes. But now, I don't even want to mention how much that could worth. So this is the same thing that happens with your money when you save your money. The value of the money is being affected by inflation over time. So inflation is basically the rate at which prices of things increases. The second reason is, let's say you're saving your money in a savings account that earns you like 1.5% interest. Please don't be carried away thinking that you're making money. Over the last 30 years, the US Bureau of Statistics and the Bank of Canada, they reported inflation rate of 2 to 3% annually. In 2023, it was even 3.9%. So this basically means that you are effectively losing 2.4% of your hard-earned money every year in your savings accounts. And it doesn't end there. Remember that the interest you're earning in your savings account is treated as income. So you still have to pay taxes on that money. The only way to avoid paying taxes is maybe if you're using like a tax-treated account like tax-free savings account, TFSA. But using TFSA for savings is not really the best option because it's best for investments. I will gladly do a video to show you why you should not use your TFSA for savings if I see a request in the comment section. So please, if you're among those that save their money only as a form of security because you're afraid of losing money in investing, the hard truth there is that in the real sense, you are actually losing money. Investing is not risk-free, no, but avoiding risk is also risky. What I like is taking calculated risk. You invest after doing your research and your due diligence to know the stock and the ETFs to invest in. Do you know that over the last 20 years, the stock market has gained an average return of between 9 to 10%? But your savings gave you 1.5%, and that's if it's in a high yield savings account, because some savings accounts, their interest rate is about below 1%. So even with inflation, you're still making money when you are investing, but with savings, you are losing your money. So instead of saving so much money in your savings account, you should save less and put so much money in investing. Your savings account should have your emergency fund and maybe your fund spending money, and that's it. I want you to know that there are so many ways you can invest your money. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in bonds, You can invest in ETFs, that is exchange traded funds. You can invest in REITs, and you can also invest in businesses. There are so many good businesses out there. All you need is a good research and your due diligence. You can also invest in real estate. All this is building assets, and that's what the rich do. That is, they buy more assets and they reduce their liabilities. You have to use money as a tool and don't allow money to be your master. Remember the saying that money is a terrible master, but a good servant. So you have to use your money wisely and put it to work by investing. Like I mentioned before, your savings account should only have your emergency fund and your fund spending money. Emergency fund is the money you use to take care of life uncertainties, because we all know life is full of uncertainties. So something like fixing your car, or maybe when you lose your job, or maybe you want to resign from a job to make a very big life changes, like maybe you want to change your job or anything. So that money is there to protect you so you don't go into credit card debts. So emergency fund is usually 3 to 6 months of 40% of your income, saved up. So let's say your salary is $4,000 monthly. So 40% of $4,000 is $8,600. So your emergency fund should be, $8,600 by 3, which is $4,800, or $8,600 by 6, that is $9,600. You now add your fund spending money. Fund spending money is the money you use to enjoy in the moment while building wealth. It is usually 10 to 20% of your income, and it helps you not to overspend or guilt spend. Now, if you're new to investing, I encourage you to start small but be consistent. You can start with index funds and ETFs, but not single stocks, because ETFs is like a basket of all the stocks in one. So you are able to have so many stocks in one. And you can do your investing yourself. You don't need to pay anybody to do investing for you. If you're in Canada, there are online brokers like Wealthsimple and Questrade, which is the one I use. By the way, this is not an ad. These online brokers have been in existence for years and they are regulated. You can use any of these online brokers to open an investment account, like the tax-free savings account, which shelters your gains from paying taxes. Now, I want to show you something real quick. Let's go back 100 years back, and let's say you have $100 and you put this $100 in a checking account with 0 interest. That $100 will be worth $100 today. Now, let's say you put that same $100 in a savings account that earns you 1.5% interest. That $100 will be worth $443 today. Now, inflation at 3%, that $100 will be worth $1,922. So this means that a product you could buy with $100 100 years ago will be worth $1,922 today. Did you see that? Now, if you put that $100 in a bond that earns you 5% return annually, that $100 will be worth $13,150 today. So let's say you bought a property with that $100 at 6% return. That $100 will be worth $3,930 today. Now, here is what happens with stock. If you put that same $100 in a stock on the average of 8% return, that $100 will be worth $219,976 today. That is a huge difference. So if you're listening to me and you have your money still in checking account or savings account, that your money is literally on strike. It is not doing anything. As a matter of fact, the bank is using your money to make money. And I hope you got my point. I urge you to take action today. Let's go together. Please, I really want to ask for something. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, could you please subscribe to my channel? And if you enjoyed this video, can you please give it a like? Thank you so much. And I hope I'm able to convince you that saving less is the way to go. Thank you all so much for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one.